Good evening. We begin tonight with news from Western Jamaica, where 3 solar lights that were erected at the controversial $12 million sign that was installed in Negril 4 months ago to illuminate the area have been stolen, shocking hotel owners, tourists, and residents in Westmoreland. General Manager of the Tensing Pen Resort, Joseph Smith, explained how the sign has taken on a life of its own and believes that theft is a trend within the area.
It's really upsetting. In fact, very, very disappointing. The Negril sign has taken on a life of its own. I was one of the citizens in the area, the Orange Bay area, very privileged to actually watch that sign being built from scratch, literally from the ground up. And once that spot had been selected, and I saw the quality of professionals that TPDCO had engaged to implement the project, I was really impressed. I was also very pleasantly surprised to know that only $12 million was spent on it because the quality of work was first class from the ground up, and what was delivered was very simple but very classy. My criticism of it has always been that I thought that a little more should have been spent on lighting. However, the 3 solar lights that were there, they were decently effective. And so now to hear that somebody had the audacity to steal those lights is really very disappointing. But I believe that it is actually part of a trend that the police ought to take a look at, because the Parish Council of Hanover had installed street lights along a stretch of the Orange Bay Main Road. And a number of those lights, just a short time after they were installed, were also stolen.
I was so heartbroken when I heard that somebody stole the lights off the sign, and it's sad that while some of us are trying to build, there are others that are tearing down, and it's very frustrating. It's disappointing when these things happen, but you know we cannot allow this things like this to discourage us from pushing forward. And I hope that whoever did this, you know and think about it. I was told that it was somebody used a bucket truck to steal the lights. That means it's not somebody who is hungry or somebody who needs to do this, because if you can have access to a bucket truck to do things like this, that means you're not hungry, and that makes it worse. That means they're definitely trying to destroy something good that's helping countless Jamaicans, because this is promoting Jamaica and the grill, and it's something that benefits us. And the other thing is that this was paid for with taxpayers' money. So it's our money, it's every Jamaican's money. So when these people are stealing from all of us, they're stealing from all of us, and this is what we need to understand.
In other news tonight, Young Jamaica, the youth arm of the ruling Jamaica Labour Party (JLP), is outraged by Senator Peter Bunting's recent comments in a PNP press conference yesterday and are calling for his immediate resignation. In a press release statement, Young Jamaica added that Bunting's comments have denigrated the honesty and intelligence of our nation's public servants in suggesting that the JCF only acted with political motivation in, quote, playing politics, end quote, on the matter of states of public emergency SOEs, especially when considering that the implementation of these measures has yielded and continues to yield significant results. JLP's youth arm also stated that Peter Bunting and the People's National Party (PNP) have commenced this new year with a zeal of renewed propaganda and are ever relentless in blatant politicking at any cost. Still tonight, following reports of the defrauding of investors at the company that, according to sources, totals more than $1.2 billion. The Financial Services Commission, FSC, is taking control of the functioning of investment business Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL. Jamaican Olympian Usain Bolt and a sitting member of parliament whose name is being withheld are two of the more than 30 SSL investors who have allegedly been defrauded by a wealth advisor who was recently fired by the business. In accordance with Section 8(1)(b) of the Financial Services Commission Act, the FSC issued the directives yesterday. The orders prohibit the entity from disposing of any assets and placed rigorous reporting obligations upon it. According to the FSC guidelines, SSL is prohibited from releasing money to customers or taking new deposits until the FSC gives its approval. According to sources, Bolt's stake had increased to at least $10 million on the most recent account statement. The main subject of the inquiry, a wealth advisor, is believed to have siphoned off a sizable sum of the money prior to the discovery of the fraud. The Croskery family owns a majority of SSL, the second oldest licensed securities dealer in Jamaica. In other news tonight, Senior Superintendent Wayne Josephs, the commanding officer in charge of Westmoreland, has revealed that the Westmoreland Investigative Branch has solved 51% of the murders that were committed throughout the parish in 2022, while speaking at the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation's meeting yesterday.
At the early start of the year, we were about almost 40 murders ahead of last year. But we put some strategies in place, Operation Relentless. And we ended the year with 10 murders, more than last year. No, 12 murders more than last year. I must say too that the investigation team managed to clear up 51% of the murders that were committed. So 79 of the murders that were committed were cleared up. So I believe that is very commendable. And by international standards, we are doing excellent.
The senior superintendent disclosed that since its establishment on January 16 last year, only one murder had been committed within the zone of special operations.
Zone of special operations, which was established on the 16th of January, 2022. And we all know that it was established in one of the main hotspots in Westmoreland, right next door to here. And in 2021, there were 15 murders in that space. And I must tell you that we ended the year with one single murder in the zone of special operations, which is testament to the fact that the zone has had a positive effect on that space. And I must also say that that one murder that was committed, it has been cleared up. Somebody was arrested and charged for that murder. The same space had 10 shootings in 2021, and we ended up with only 5 shootings, which is a 50% reduction in the zone.
The senior superintendent also stated that results of a departmental study has shown that out of 140 persons murdered, 40 individuals, or 29% in 2022, were involved in criminal activities. 14 or 10% were associated with criminals.
Now I commissioned my team to do a study, because it was always my view that majority of the persons who are being killed in Westmoreland, and probably I don't speak for other parishes, but I believe if a study is done, it might also show similar patterns. Is that out of the 140 persons that were that were killed, 40 or 29% of those persons were criminals, were involved in criminal activities, directly involved. And these were as a result of reprisals, counter reprisals, and so on. 14 or 10% were persons who were not directly involved in criminal activities, but because they were associated to criminals, they were killed. So that makes 54 or 39% of the persons who were the victims.
Still tonight, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the government has been taking firm and deliberate steps to harden the national security architecture and ensure that the country does not become a haven for organized criminal groups. Mr. Holness noted that once the loopholes are closed, there will be a significant reduction in the street-level crime that the average person experiences over time. The Prime Minister was speaking at a national security seminar hosted by the Office of the National Security Advisor at the AC Hotel in Kingston yesterday. The Prime Minister noted that the structure of the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF has been strengthened, while the Jamaica Defence Force JDF has been undergoing structural reform. He further mentioned the strengthening of the maritime space with investments in offshore, inshore patrol vessels, as well as aircraft, including new helicopters to assist in emergency response. Continuing with the news tonight, an Ananda Alert has been activated for 15-year-old Cleona Webb, a student of Mergrove Avenue, Kingston 10, who has been missing since Thursday, January 11. Cleona is of brown complexion, slim build and about 165 centimeters or 5 feet 5 inches tall. Reports from the Halfway Tree Police coming into our news center are that at about 6:40 a.m., Cleona was last seen at home wearing a white blouse and a plaid green and burgundy shirt. All efforts to locate her have proven futile. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Cleona Webb is being asked to urgently contact the Halfway Tree Police at 876-926-8184, Police Emergency 119, or the nearest police station. And that's our news package for you tonight. Thank you for tuning in to Mello TV Evening News at 8. I am Shelley Ann Hill. Do stay safe, pleasant viewing, and thanks for watching.